Hello, welcome to another edition of Tally the Vote. That's us here, ready to talk about Big Brother every single week. I'm Christy, and with me always are the lovelies
Jamie.
and the handsome.
I'm having a shitty night.
Yeah, this is not. I really feel bad for you, and I'm sure that everyone will know exactly what we're talking about.
Well, because you're the biggest fan. You're the biggest fan that this HOH has ever had.
Yeah,
You can't top it.
he is the worst.
He named his hair
You know
first
what?
up, and then he put it up in a top knot.
He did. He had it
This
in a
guy
top knot.
is a douche.
He is, but that, I mean, that's like whatever.
And he's creeping on
It's
America.
the top, not on top.
He's gross.
He's just
He is creepy
for a whole lot of other things. But then okay, whatever.
The top knot was pretty gross too. Did you see it?
I mean, his isn't especially great, but whatever. Sometimes you got to get your hair out of your face.
No, Jamie comes back with like top knots are fine. Look at Jason Momoa. I'm like, this
I
dude is
said
no
that.
Jason Momoa. Was that you?
That was me.
Yeah,
There was no, but Cameron is no Jason Momoa.
It's not you. Listen, it is. I was not trying to compare him to Momoa because there's no comparison. It was more just the choice of hair. I don't really care. I think
it was not a defense of the man, but a defense of the style.
Well, in general.
It can be allowed on the right person.
I grew up in a time when, people were doing weird haircuts in the 80s to try and be edgy and cool. And it's like, you had to look them in the eye and they were your friend and they had the stupidest hair ever. So I never...
It's great.
I never, ever judge people on their hair. It's like, if that makes you feel comfortable, whatever. It's about the person. So, yeah.
See, in the 80s, they all walked around with a flock of seagulls hair.
Yeah, that didn't look good on anyone. Is really bad. So if we don't make fun, I mean,
but with just the right pair of parachute pants, it could work.
Yeah. It's about the half-rolled sleeves, honestly.
Pop those double collars. No.
Well, top knot or not,
he's not top dog.
He's been on a winning streak, so they are. You know what I love? I love to think that Hisam every single week and Cam is still there, and like Hisam's just like, you know what, like eating some sort of like granola cereal, something healthy, with some fresh fruit. And he's just like, good for him. It should have been me.
Oh man.
They just can't get rid of him, and he is not. They're not going to get rid of him. They're not going to get rid of him. He is going to be in the final three. They're not.
It would be fine if he'd go after the power. If he'd be like, okay, I'm going to be anti the power, and he puts up like Cirie and Felicia, then it would be interesting. But he won't. He'll go after two floaters.
No. I think what's going to happen, this is my prediction this week, is that he is going to be putting Izzy and America on the block.
Right. And America will go home and it won't change the power structure in the house. And that's what I'm saying, because he's a moron.
Because he has no clue what's really going on.
And he's only going after America because she's not into him, which is kind of gross.
Yeah, he really is only going after America because America doesn't love him best, and that's it. Like,
it is gross.
It's not a game move; it's a personal move. But okay. But you've also got Izzy, and that's another thing though, because Izzy would be a personal move too. However, it could be interesting because if you've got America on the block and you've got Izzy on the block. Izzy and Jared and Cirie are tight. I don't know what Felicia would do. Like Felicia, I think I could almost see her kind of trying to work it so that Izzy did go home. Maybe. Because she's been kind of trying to play her own, like wiggle out and get a little bit of her own game going on this week.
Is Izzy still the only one that knows about Cirie and Jared?
No, Blue knows.
Well, she's the only one that knows officially. Yeah. Blue still kind of thinks that she doesn't know which one is mom.
Okay. Well, then that could be a reason why at that point of Felicia wanted to do that, Cirie might be like, yes, we could let Izzy go. And
Now,
Cirie can cut you up.
But now,
But Cirie would let Felicia go, but not Izzy.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't
she's
think she- I
basically
think
told
she'd
people
let
in the house this week that she'd be fine
She'd-
with Felicia going home.
yeah, she'd let Felicia go home over Izzy right now. I really truly believe that.
No.
And I think Jared's core is Blue, Mom, and Izzy.
Mm.
But here's the
But
thing.
still, if Izzy's not in the game anymore, now you have zero chance anyone's going to find out about you two.
That is true.
Unless
but
Jared
Jared can't
But
not
if they
tell
vote,
people.
if they vote Izzy
Stop.
out, she is going to shout it as she walks out the door. Because I would.
Right.
I
They
don't think
betrayed
she. I
me.
don't think she would. I don't think she would. I do. I think she will
know.
walk out with zipped. I don't think she'll say it. And Jared really, really wants to tell people. He drops clues all the time. He cannot stand like people not knowing that he's this famous person's kid, and so like he got into like a not like an argument, but kind of an argument with Corey the other day where he was like talking about how he has like basically has more moves than Corey, and Corey's like, but I don't know, I'm like, like my 20s, I'm on TV, I'm doing okay. And he's all like, well, I was on national television when I was 18. And he's like, oh, doing what? Like, why were you on national television? He's all like, oh, Big Brother stuff, and Corey's like, So we've been waiting for Corey and America to maybe like, maybe bring up that conversation when they're always snuggling in their snuggle fest and kind of put the pieces together.
Or they're not snuggle fest this week, where they were in separate beds and like being all awkward.
For one night. They tried this for one night and Corey just could not. The second night, they were back in the same bed, snuggling away. Saying a lot of innuendo, but not saying the real thing.
We've all been young once.
Rumor has it.
Like you can snuggle with someone, but when you're snuggling with someone and it's like very like new and very like awkward, you are not sleeping. You're not sleeping.
No.
You're waking up every time they move, you're waking up.
Yep.
Right? So how can you do that night after night? And that's not good for your game. I'm just saying, guys.
It's
snuggle
not.
during the day while you're awake.
It's not a very game move.
And he's what?
To be all this, at least sleep. You at least get some sleep, right?
You gotta have.
And he's 20 years old, and he's snuggling every night. He ain't sleeping at all.
Right?
Because he's just sitting there like, damn it.
Right? Listen, it is very similar for the female. Well,
it's
for,
true. We don't even need to guess.
The frustration's there, absolutely. And that makes
it doesn't help that America is, always pushing for it a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go.
but do you think part of that because is part of that she feels she can be more emboldened with him because he's so reserved? And so because if he flipped the script on her, I think she'd go, whoa. You know
Maybe. But I kind of have the sense that America is just a girl that knows what she wants and is like not afraid to say.
I think she kind of likes the chase. It's interesting for her. It's fun. Chasing a little bit. And he's like, oh, no, I don't know.
Television. Another interesting bit of information. Now, hold on to your hats for this one, because this one's a whopper. Bowie Jane's name is not, in fact, Bowie Jane something. Her name is Bowie
Jane.
Jane is her last name. And nobody knows why Big Brother calls her by her first and last name, but nobody else.
When she introduced herself, she said, she did say I'm Bowie Jane, but that's what she would say.
Bowie Jane. So she gets called to the DR, she gets like called to the DR, or, Julie says hi to her, Bowie Jane. But it's no one else gets their name. It's not Cirie Fields. Come to the DR.
I think it'd be super funny if she was like, is there another Bowie in here? Because I think I'm the only one, you know? Like, why the last names?
Very bizarre. It's bizarre. Yeah, she's having a conversation about this with Felicia, and she's like, Jane, I thought that was your middle name. And she's like, no, Jane's a really common last name in Australia. It's like a common last name.
Or she'd had another name during the, I'm gonna look it up while we're talking.
You're gonna look it up. We're gonna figure it out. So Bowie Jane is just Bowie.
Wow.
Or is it Bowie?
Jane, comma Bowie on her ID, most likely.
Her last name, according to this, her last name is Ball. Bowie Jane Ball.
Jane Ball.
Middle name, or like Bowie Jane, and then the last name Ball, Ball.
Well, I don't know. According to her conversation, Jane is the last name, not a middler.
Maybe she feels like she needs to throw them another lie to get them off of it.
Maybe she's like, I am in fact 40 years old, no matter if my profile says I'm 45,
isn't she?
Yeah.
But it's so great because I think it's Felicia where she's like got it pegged. She's like, nope, look at her profile. She's 45. she nailed the age. Like,
yeah. And Bowie Jane, I just this week I found myself going like, dude, are you even playing? Like, are you even on the show?
Okay.
How are you a lawyer? I don't see any aggression.
I don't get it.
I don't see anything.
I don't get it.
Like, I don't see.
All lawyers are not aggressive. If you're like a lawyer that works on tax law, you're not aggressive.
Alert, maybe? Like, do you see what's going on? Are you seeing what?
Some sort,
are you watching the maneuvers?
Are you at least astute?
She's not.
Something. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm just saying there's a lot of stupid lawyers in the world. Let's not act like you have to
be
relatively intelligent.
Okay.
It is a fact.
You have to pass one test.
Well,
that's a fact.
Yeah, that's facts. But
regardless, she doesn't seem to be playing much of a game at all. And the fact that her alliance, she has the grouping with Red and Cam, and then she has the like bye bitches in her head because that's so disassembled it doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, she's trying to have a reunion. They're like, nope, we moved on.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. Girl. It's not a thing. It's not a thing anymore. Bowie Jane, Bowie, comma Jane. No.
Now, how about Mimi? Talk about somebody who's in the house who you never see. She has like no screen time. Mm-hmm. She doesn't.
They give her little things here and there. She'll make little comments, and every time she says them, I'm like, that she's right.
But when you watch her on the feed, she's everywhere, talking to everybody. But she's like this quiet thing that's happening in the house.
Never the center of attention. Ever. Never the center of attention.
What I'm trying to point out is she may be playing a brilliant game.
Yeah, I think that she's playing a really, really quiet, low-key game, but
everyone likes her. No one's looking at her. No one's even talking about her as potentially.
She's like the sleeper assassin.
Yeah, I mean, no one's really talking about Suri going on the block either, which I think is insane.
Yeah, I agree, but it's even Red throughout his whole week on the block. Like he's like, I trust Suri. Like I just completely trust her. But why though? Like what? But why? And if you trust her, and Izzy says, "Oh yeah, I trust her," and Jared's like, "Oh yeah, I trust her," and then like everyone you're talking to is, "Oh yeah, I totally trust Suri." There should be alarm bells going off if there's a single person in the house that everybody trusts. Nobody's worried about. That's the person to go after. That's who you go after.
Yeah, but it's the hardest sell if everybody's on underneath them. You know what I mean?
Yep, it's a risk. But that's the thing about HOH. And again, I know it's like got to be so much scarier when you're in the position and you don't want to like make people mad at you that you live with, and you don't want to form enemies. And I mean, we've all been there in the real world. We've all been there where, you know, we have. Oh, what I wanted to say was church store. But you don't. You just can't.
Church store.
Yes. Yeah. But you know, you're an HOH. Like, who's the red flag? that's who goes on the block. If
Yeah.
they win veto and they take themselves down, that's why we have the whole like, you're just a pawn, and then tell the other person you're just a pawn. And sure, it could come back to you, or you could get your biggest threat out of the game lickety split.
Yeah.
You know, and the dumb thing is with this group is that you got somebody like Jag. Okay, yes, Cam is a threat. And they thought, okay, if we get rid of Red, that's going to minimize our threat with Cam. But you know what? You know that Cam and Red are a partnership. They don't really have anybody else. You know it's the two of them.
And
But
Cam
Jag
can't
is
win.
everywhere. Jag's all over the place. And you can't trust him. And you can't trust him not because he's, shady or untrustworthy. It's because he is so paranoid. He's so paranoid that you can't keep him in the game because he had a 10-person against, like 10 votes. So who does he trust? Nobody.
But here's the thing,
all over the place.
But why is he insistently all upset about that when he knows how it worked out that Matt had used his power on him, and it should make Jag go, oh wow, Matt really knows what everybody's doing. Because they were able to save, because that's the only way it worked to save both of them. We're going to save you. I'm going to save you. Everyone's going to vote for her for you. We're saving her, Blue, and you.
But this is the thing. It didn't start out with him getting that knowledge and then him freaking out about it and going in the wrong direction. Jag does this thing where it's like, you see, he does it with America and Corey a lot, where and he's really close to America. Like they're buddies. She has tried to stay close to him throughout this whole game. And it wasn't until just days ago where she's like, he's lost us. Like we just can't with this guy.
Is he because just too much anxiety or something? Like
he doesn't believe anybody. He believes the last person who talked to him.
Why would you not keep somebody like that in the game? He can't win.
Yeah, that's what
I make the same argument with Cameron. He can win a bunch of HOHs. He can win a bunch of contests, but at the end of the day, no one likes him. He will not win the game. I would keep him next to me till final 3 because he ain't winning.
Wow.
Because no matter who's up against him,
it doesn't matter because nobody likes him.
Just him.
Can you see America ever voting for him?
I don't think
yeah, some of them would. Is he? No, probably not. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna be really honest with you. You could throw that question to me about almost anybody in almost any other season of Big Brother, and I would feel like I'd have some idea. And I can't. With this group, they change their mind 20 times.
But they don't change their mind. What they do every week is
that's true. They always come
have a
back
target,
to the same thing.
and then they have a different target, and then they go back to the original target every week. It's happened every single week. You got Cam and you've got Bowie, Jane. Who wins? I think Bowie Jane. I don't think anyone likes
No
him.
way. I don't think so, because the one thing Three does appreciate is game, and Cam would have it just off of wins.
He has, yeah. If he continued on that way, he does have wins.
Now,
and was on the block.
We have seen quite often that the person with the most wins and the best resume doesn't win.
Well,
true.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily in Big Brother. You have times where the person who should win didn't. It's very rare. You've got situations like
them.
That's what that is a big thing of it, but it's not okay. Somebody like Paul, for instance.
And we've seen it on Survivor too. Russell Hantz probably played the rest game his season, but he didn't win because everyone hated it.
But in Big Brother, it's a different caliber of game, and it's a long-term game, and it just depends on who you're in the house with, honestly. If you got a bunch of dude bro athletes, it's all about the wins. It does not matter how killer your social game was, it's all about the wins. But if you've got a lot of like buddies, then the social game's more important. But look at somebody like Paul. Look at somebody like Paul's game. Paul was like a puppeteer in that house. And he did not win. And why did he not? Because he wasn't the one winning the competitions. He had minions do that for him.
Well, but Cirie hasn't even sniffed a win this year.
That's just it. If Cirie sits down in the final 2 against Cameron, yeah, she might win because everybody seems to think she's an angel. However, next to Bowie Jane, there's no way Bowie Jane wins it over Cam. Like, no way.
Not
anybody else, maybe.
She might be the only person in the house. So the point is, why, if you're targeting people, do you pick somebody who can't win? Why wouldn't you, if you're sitting in Cameron's shoes right now, why wouldn't you say who's most likely to win the game? And if you start there, you're going to say Cirie, right?
But who has won the most behind Cam? Jag.
What has Jag won?
He's won.
He's not been HOH.
A veto. He's won a veto or 2. So
yeah, but he's paranoid,
and he's going
to implode. There's no reason to target him strategically.
No, here's where Jag is dangerous. No, okay, so he doesn't win in a final 3. Okay.
And nobody wins out from 10.
But Jag is so paranoid, he blows up everyone else's game. Like, Corey and America almost got put on the block because of him, and they were his allies. Like, he's his social game. Like, we all love him. We all love the guy, but he is a horrible gamer. He's the worst. He's the worst in the house. Bowie Jane isn't playing.
Oh,
but Jag's game is the worst. It sucks so bad because we like you so much.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that like whole fashion game going.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And then tonight, I couldn't help but kind of feel for, I mean, sue me, but I couldn't help but feel bad for Red.
Well, we knew he was going home the second it was his birthday, right? That's always like
it's the curse. It's the Big Brother curse. If someone makes you a cake in that house, you're gone.
Sorry.
That's it.
Your story has ended. Goodbye. You're being
kick you out.
Written out. God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he's such a little, he's such an emotional little fella, and he cries easily. So you could see when he was talking to Julie, like, he was kind of pushing back some tears. I'm like, dude, no, don't.
He legitimately was so shocked and excited when he found out about the twist about Cirie and Jared. Like, no way. Like, it was so cute. It was so authentic.
It like suddenly makes sense, right? Like, you go, oh, okay, so maybe my game sucked just a tiny bit less than I thought because there was no way.
And he's a son. He's a son, so he has to immediately go, what would it have been like? Yeah, I couldn't have played this game with my mom. Like, that's great, No way.
No way.
That seems crazy.
Okay. Can we talk about Izzy, and if Izzy does go on the block, because Izzy and Cam are like, they're not good. They're not friends, and it's known they are not friends.
Everybody knows.
She's going to be unhinged. It's going to be so much. There's going to be so
No, I don't think she will be, actually. I think she'll be totally zen because she'll think I got Cirie, I got Felicia,
I think she's going to lose.
If I was marbles. Like you said, if Cam is thinking, who do I need to take out? I would think from his point of view, he thinks he would need to take out Jared. Why wouldn't he put Jared up? You put me up.
Well, right. I mean, Jared, Izzy, Felicia, Cirie. You would think that's where he'd look.
Yes, you would think. You would think.
I mean, first of all, Cirie and Felicia haven't been anywhere near the block.
Ooh, and that's a perfect excuse right there. Say, hey, you know what? You guys not.
Neither of you have been on the block. Have at it. I hope you win the veto.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen many live HOHs this season. It seems like, or was I just?
We have not seen any live HOHs other than pressure cooker. So, like, let's leave it to. Let's leave it to the fart sequence to be the live.
Okay, first of all, there was no way I was going to win that. That was the stupidest game, and it was because it was funny. You couldn't concentrate because you're like, it's ridiculous. But when he did win, it was so awkward that like literally no one
It was delicious. It was
Ooh,
the most
it was like,
delicious
dang.
thing ever.
But
Nobody
you know
wanted.
what?
Nobody
You would
wanted
not have
Yeah.
wanted to be in my TV room because I got out all sorts of bad words because I was already having a bad night.
I'm sure. But that was almost genius for the rest of the house because they're hiding together. Because if somebody kisses his butt and goes up and congratulates him, do you know what I mean? Now the others are mad at that person going like, oh, seriously? You know, but he doesn't even know who to hate. Like, oh, nobody's excited. Like, oh, nobody? Okay.
Well, because the only person that is going to be safe is going to be Bowie, Jane, because she's the only one that voted to keep Red. She's the only one that, along with him, because they were, in the dark on it. So it depends. Does he play strategically or does he play emotionally?
But is he seeing what's really going on with the players? Does he think the people who are in charge are in charge? Do you know what I mean?
Well, and I feel like, okay, so there's the
I
American
feel like you would underestimate the ladies. Just saying.
I think that if Cam doesn't
he
take
clearly
this,
has problems with women.
Yes,
big
so
time.
that's why I say Jared for sure. He put Jared up.
if he does not take the opportunity to get Corey in America, he's a fool. Like he's this is probably the only chance he'll ever have. And I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do. I feel like it's gonna be easy.
But that's exactly what he's going to do because he's not going to read the situation right.
Right.
But
Corey and America aren't the power.
No,
they're not the power, but he needs to pull Corey and America to his side because he needs the numbers. And
he needs Corey, America, Jag, and Blue. That's that's the alliance.
He won't get Blue though.
he won't get yeah.
He won't get her.
Blue's with Jared.
He'll get Blue if it comes out that Jared or that Cherie was talking about cutting her.
No.
No, I feel that gives Blue way too much credit. She lets that man say some pretty dumb stuff and still she's I think she takes a lot of stupid crap and doesn't go, you know what? I'm worth more than that. I'm going to go over to this alliance.
You know what? Maybe she's
Speaking of him saying a lot of stupid
if that's
stuff,
the case,
do you want to talk about it now or later?
But we can talk about it. But I just think in Blue's defense, she's a young woman who of a different generation than us, and perhaps she's like, I know exactly what's going on with Jared, and I'm just having fun. Whatever.
Maybe.
And if so, good for her.
You know what? I would love for that to be the case because then, hey, that's great.
Yeah.
But I realized something tonight, and it is decided, and it is exactly. I know that you are a fan, a major fan of a Mr. Grande, but Blue and Grande have the exact same reaction every time the camera points to them. They are the same people. In this weird universe. In this ultraverse that we have created, Blue
the influencer,
is actually right? Grande in disguise. At some point, she is going to pull off her face and it will be Frankie under. And he will be like, surprise, bitches, it's me.
Don't you think Jared would have noticed under the blankets by now?
No.
Just saying.
No. Jared's too into himself. I don't think he would have noticed anything.
No, they are both, but they're both influencers, do you think that's what they're used to doing? These like super upbeat.
That's definitely a contribution to the personality, but it's things like I noticed tonight that she doesn't simply go, "Oh, hi," and do that. She's hi and scene. Like she literally does with the end of her fingers after she waves.
Maybe that's her signature out when she does her like.
That's the kitty meow meow kitty thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I don't.
Good. You know what? Good for her.
It's just it's just them. It's just them. It's who they are. It's just who they are.
Now, I would like to see Frankie on a season of something with George. George from Australia. Oh, it would be delicious.
Oh wow!
George,
and then throw in Evil Dick just for fun.
Do you think George would instantly
hate him?
hate him and go after him? Or what do you think? Like he would try to control him instantly?
They would repel. They would be like
You think
two
so?
magnets pushing
Oil
each
and
other
water.
away. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm, mhm.
But I think George is I don't think Frankie could pretend as well. I think
No.
George would be really good at pretending, if that makes sense.
No. I think George would play with like a evil Dick. He would probably team up with it.
But I think they would instantly. I think they would instantly know that they had to take each other out.
We're literally terrorizing.
Instantly, like enemy number one immediately.
This is the
But they would
nerdiest
terrorize the house and like. I don't even
It would
think you could have.
combust.
I
It
don't
would
even think.
combust. It couldn't handle it. It
I
couldn't
don't even
handle.
think
It couldn't
let's be
handle a
honest.
king and a dick. Okay, it just couldn't.
Evil Dick could not even be on the show anymore.
No.
The
No.
standards have
He
changed.
can barely be on Twitter. Like
he wouldn't
no,
want.
there's no
He
way.
probably wouldn't want to. He was kind of grumpy then. By now he'd be like, "Oh my god!" Just,
Yeah.
My favorite is somebody jumped on his Twitter and said, "You're rude," and he said, "Do you have any understanding who you're following?"
Like,
Yeah.
What's up?
or maybe they
have
were
you
like,
met?
"You're rude." You know what I mean? Maybe they meant it in a good way.
Like
know,
in
like,
an
they
80s
were-
way, like
they were
somebody's a
applauding
rude
for
boss.
this. Like, well done.
So now
You're
we have
totally
to turn.
rude boss.
We have to turn to a new topic that's going to annoy Jamie, but I want to bring it up anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so there was quite the controversy this week with Jared using a pejorative towards mentally challenged individuals directed at America. And unlike somebody earlier in the season, he was not removed, he was rather just corrected. So
Yes, because it falls just out of reach. It falls just out of reach, and I'm going to say
but he actually directed it at a contestant, where the original person did not direct it at anyone.
Right, but the biggest I think the biggest thing that the production looked at and said we can squeak by on this is because he didn't say it on live feeds. He told Corey he shouldn't have said this. We didn't see it was like, during a competition or when the glitter thing was happening on the screen. He brought it up to Corey and said, I shouldn't have called America this. And so I guess, I don't know, in production land, that was enough to squeak by. Also, you tell me that there's no way that he's the main character at this point because of Suri.
Well, that's
they do this. They do it every year.
Well, this is what, and when I said last week that I think there's a bit of a double standard between his behavior and other people's behavior, you got a little like defensive.
Yeah, this was the week that solidified it for me. I'm not a fan.
Last week I wouldn't have agreed with any of it. I didn't. But this week he said something that I said, okay, it's a little sketchy. Production's definitely letting him squeak by. It's right on the end.
And if he wasn't Cerie's son, he'd be off. He'd be gone.
Maybe.
We would be wanting him to be gone probably already.
Well, there's plenty of people that think he should be.
And if other dude hadn't already gone, would that have doubled the chances of Jared going? Or maybe because we already had a controversy of this guy going.
If the other dude hadn't gone, I think they could have slid by it easier. Because clearly the word he used, while not great, is not as offensive as the word the first guy used, right?
It's been out of
close.
flavor a lesser amount of time.
Right, and
we're still in the learning curve of,
and it's not used,
and it's nowhere near as explosive or historically loaded.
I mean, it was still used in Saturday Night Live skits 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make it okay, but I'm just saying society.
That's what I mean when I say it skates right on that line where production went, we can get away with it.
We're turning the ship on that word, but we're not going backwards. We're still in the turn, and so we're going to hear it here and there still probably.
But you know what? There's a whole slew of this that's going on, this year, because a lot of the stuff that Cameron has said is just downright gross and creepy, and even read a little bit, Matt's walking around quoting Andrew Tate, for God's sakes. It's not always the best situation. When you live with people long enough and you start to see, like their manners start to slide away and these little things come out. And every year there's something like that. But you can kind of see, with the Jared thing and definitely with the Cameron thing. And I think it's going to even go even further with the Cam thing at this point, because now he's on this hot streak win. They're not going to want him to just walk out the door. They're going to want to kind of feed this for a minute. But he's not getting reprimanded.
So what I hear you saying is that Corey is the only nice dude in the house.
Well, Corey's the only.
And Jag. Jag is extremely nice. He's just a horrible player at Big Brother.
Yeah, Corey and Jag don't seem to be misogynistic jackasses.
No,
I can't
really
say
don't.
that about Matt.
I feel like
I
Corey's
can't say that
respectful
about Jared. I mean,
Yeah, this week I was like, I'm sorry. I only want Jared there so he can be a shield for Suri. So she can get him information from him. But
yep.
He's so good at telling her
You know what's really frustrating?
I don't.
Tonight we were talking about who we
cuddling.
Tonight we were talking about who do we want to see win HOH? Where do we want this to go? And it's like, it sucks because right now I can't root for Suri, and I really want to, but I just can't because I just have such a bad about Jared that if he's out of the game, then yep, I'm right back on board. Let's see if Suri can do it.
She would be so smart to get rid of him at some point, and I wish she would know that. But then I can respect her.
Yeah, I'm not really entirely sure what to do with this, but every single year there's some, or a handful of people that get kind of a really cruddy edit that have a lot to do with the game and do really interesting things in the game, or are just incredibly
And who is at this season,
people.
do you think?
Who do I think is getting kind of cut on this? Izzy there's a little bit here and there because we've got live.
Izzy had a major edit for the first week and a half.
A little bit of one, but she literally was dancing for 4.5 hours and it was hilarious. And they wouldn't they don't show all these Izzy things that make her the interesting person, But I don't know that there's any major strategic thing that's happening that they're leaving out, but there are certain things
who's playing at this point other than Suri? Who's playing?
Corey is. He just hasn't.
Corey is still going to do whatever Suri wants, so he's not.
Yeah, Corey still. If Corey can still look at the camera and he can lay out, this is going on and this is going on, and these people are this and these people are doing this. He's still playing. He's playing very similar to what Mimi is playing. It's just he's got another person and she doesn't.
Right.
And they'd actually make a good alliance.
They've had a couple conversations together, and it's ooh, this could be this really could be something, because they both really have a pretty good understanding of the social structures.
And they're both kind of underneath the radar, nobody's talking about getting rid of them.
Yeah, because America, sometimes Corey's name comes up, but it's usually just very momentary and it goes to America.
Yep.
And every time Corey's name comes up, it's just because he did it to himself. And then he can kind of backpedal around it. It's not somebody else coming up and saying something about Corey that really gets them talking about him. Now.
He's a good kid. But what about that mustache?
I know, right? The little squirrely mustache. Listen, and that's another thing with Izzy is she has been really reaching out this week. She's been spending a lot of time with Corey in America, talking to Mimi. She had a moment where she talked to the camera and was like, "I am playing my own game.
What's her path to victory?
Well,
as long as she sticks with Suri, she doesn't have one.
But she is saying, I know that I'm not here just to be a buffer for them to get to the end. I am very aware of where I'm sitting right now. because I think she was talking to her girlfriend, on cameras, and like, I'm going through everything that we talked about. I'm not here just to help somebody else win right now. This is why that's helping me, but I'm starting to form an exit plan. She's working something out in her head. She's
the
trying to
player who would benefit the most from Cirie going home, because Cirie's ruining her game. Because when she gets to the end,
Jared going home.
If Cirie goes home at say 4, and you get like an Izzy, Matt, Corey, they're going to go, all you did was ride Cirie's coattails for the entire game. You did nothing. She'll make some lame argument, and they'll be right.
But see, that right, what you said right there is exactly why I said Izzy is the one getting this edit. Right there, because Izzy is doing a lot of stuff for them.
The problem is she's still so stuck to Cirie. If Cirie took a poop in the middle of the diary room, she'd call it art.
Okay.
And she'd call everyone in to see the art that Cirie created.
But even if she did, we're like just rounding out the first quarter of a really long game.
That's true.
Like by the time we get to the end of this game, we're not going to remember. We're not going to remember Red's name or Hisam's or.
Okay, who was that chick the first week?
See?
Who's that blonde chick?
She had an excellent bikini. I remember that.
They were showing her.
Riley
her in the game. Riley.
She was the second one out. Yeah, Riley was the second one out.
But who was the first one out?
Kimberly. Was it Kimberly?
Luke.
No, Luke wasn't the first one out.
Yeah, he is. He got sent home before the game ever started.
Oh, yes, that's true.
No, he got sent home after the first eviction.
No, he was sent home before. He was the first one out because they still had the eviction. They said, we're still having the eviction. And we were like,
right.
That was
there was a big deal because they still had the eviction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then somebody was out. And then Riley was out the next week. But was that the first?
When we get to week 4, Jamie's not going to remember what happened week 1.
I don't remember. And this is going to be a really because
there's not going to be a lot that I do unless I completely actually means something to where we're at.
What day are we on now? Does anyone know?
Yeah, and when is the finale?
We're on 60 something.
We're not at 60.
No. We're gonna be
30
40
maybe?
something. No, we were at. Hold on. Now wait. You know what?
And how many days are they playing?
Somebody else we did not talk about
100
is Matt.
days.
We have not talked about Matt.
Because he's not doing anything.
But Matt is doing things. He might ruin his own game, but he's trying to do things. And that's another edit. We are not saying, not the power thing. That's stupid. That's not the thing. He's having the conversation. He will turn around and go bring information and he switches the information. And I'm not saying he's doing anything great. But he is playing. But here's the weird thing about Matt. Is that Matt is he's still super obsessed about Riley. And so everything he does is
we could barely remember anything.
How would Riley want this time? I don't understand it. I mean, whatever.
But he's got the what would Riley do bracelet on?
Yeah, basically he's somed up for her newsletter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, she's good in a bikini, but come on.
It's a little something. It's a little something.
He can't scrub it out of his brain.
He's young.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Young.
Whatever.
And the bikini was impressive. I mean, I could see that sticking with a guy.
He's he's got to keep it going so that, he gets that date on the outside.
Yeah, and he's a
swimmer. Do you think there's any
right?
chance that's happening?
Probably.
If they're both single, why wouldn't they go out at least one time?
Even if it's it's a short-term thing for sure.
Right, because there's still gonna be all the after the show things that they have to do.
You bet they're gonna be in the same circle.
They'll see each other. There'll be drinks involved, and they're finally out of the house. He's finally out of the house or whatever, and
I wonder in Big Brother and Survivor history, how many the end of season hookups occurred. That we didn't
that didn't happen in the house, not in the house or
right. It was or it's just like a one-nighter before the.
I would really wonder if
finale.
if there were how many there were where it was one of the people were out early and then they missed, but they kind of liked each other, and then they missed each other so much that both of them had been thinking about it until the end.
That kind of happened with Danielle and Dominic, and they're married and have kids.
That is true.
So that's one, because he was out fairly early in the game, and she
Remember
was like,
that, kids. Healthy imagination saves a marriage.
There you go.
And didn't Brendan he got thrown out at one point? Rachel was still in, wasn't he?
But he was a little further. He was a little further in. He was definitely.
And he was kind of doing that thing where, like, I'm gonna go and you have a better chance to win, babe. You stay here. You got this.
They're the same way. They're like still the same way.
Yeah. But that's awesome.
Oh,
and then she always gets upset and then would cry, and he'd be like, "It's fine. It's fine."
We used to like say all the time with Rachel Riley was, "Oh my God, if you are a person who cries that much, how are you not wearing waterproof? Like, seriously, legit. Like,
Invest.
It's not that hard."
There's like so many killer options out there.
But it was like part of her brand. She had to be a hot mess at all times. She wanted to be Lindsay Lohan so bad. She really did. She wanted like a drink in her hand, the red hair.
Oh my God. She is one of those characters. She's one of those characters that, like, at the beginning, I just did not like her.
You're like,
at all. And then I kind of started enjoying disliking her and rooting against her.
Right. Well, that's what's great about her.
That was George.
She is a lot like George in that. Yeah. She grows on you, and pretty much you're like, I can't stand her, but I love watching her on TV.
But you know what? When she came back, around and she won, I was so flipping happy for her.
Because you're like, I can't believe. If someone would have told me that, I wouldn't have believed in a million years.
I never would have.
What? Yeah, that was great. And we love an underdog.
You accomplish your dreams, you know.
An underdog. So she was an underdog, but she was also like so confident.
Oh my gosh, she's so competitive. Like watching them in Amazing Race, like.
Her and Brendan, or her and her sister?
Oh yeah, there's that too. Oh
yeah.
Well, speaking of eyelashes, I don't know how like that girl was ever able to run. How did those eyelashes did not block every bit of wind speed you can get?
Say, if you've ever worn fake eyelashes at any point, the wind will catch them. So
I have them on right now.
So you go like you're just standing there, and the next thing you know, it feels like your eye like. What?
I don't get it. I don't know how they were able to compete with those eyelashes, but girls did. They did what they had to do.
Yeah. They almost needed like goggles to like windproof them, so they didn't.
In the ideas of the fashion world and pretty ladies, what are we thinking on Julie's outfit for the night?
I didn't even look. I was so angry about my damn iPad.
Oh wow!
I did not look at what she was wearing.
She had tonight. She was a denim diva, according to Blue.
Oh God, yeah. I have.
I know America said she was lovely.
I wrote down that it was like prison guard chic. Like it
was like jeans, and then she had like this like weird tweed, like very high, like very buttoned up jacket with it, so it was really buttoned up here, but then it was like cut at a weird angle down by the waist. I don't know.
At this moment, I'm not even sure I watched the episode.
And it was a weird color too. It was like a really weird,
like a slate gray, like a blue,
like a dingy, dusty.
Yeah,
I applaud her for doing jeans, because that doesn't seem like that would be the thing she'd be comfy in as much. But you can do the top a little better with the jeans.
Yeah. I didn't love it. This one did not.
And the jeans were too light for that light top, I thought, but whatever.
Yeah, it didn't resonate. And you know what? This is what it was. I didn't love it, and it was kind of boring. And if I'm not going to love something that she wears, I want to hate it.
Okay.
Do you know?
Her hair looked amazing.
So basically what you're saying is,
like a French
Julie, you look adequate this evening.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to get on this show only so that I can, even if I only get one chance to do a vote, it's just so that I can be like, look adequate.
Do you think they freak out? Do you think one of the reasons they freak out gush so much is that she's the only person they get to see outside of the house?
It's gotta be.
Well, in the house,
it's gotta be a huge part of it. It's gotta be like
when she comes up on the screen and they're watching her and talking to her, and then it's like, I don't know, does she become like God?
Well, no,
they forget they're on TV too, right? Like they forget they're on TV. At some point, they just, I mean, yeah, there's cameras and stuff,
which is funny because you don't see them.
Forget.
Right, but they're on camera all day long. They're not doing anything, and then all of a sudden it's the live show, and they're all like,
right, like, then they're emoting and calling her Juliet, and it's a whole thing.
And then production corrected America. Did you hear about this? Or surely you did, Jamie. She left the bathroom, and as she was walking back, they said, "America, please return to the bathroom and wash your hands." No joke. And she had to, because they're worried about COVID or whatever. And she went to the bathroom. She had to go back and wash her hands. And she went back to the living room. She's like, I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, because
the world would be a better place if we all had Big Brother telling people to wash their hands.
I don't raise that for the obvious bathroom humor as much as I do. Her comment after that was, they really are watching. like she didn't think they were actually.
Oh my gosh! I
knew what they were doing.
Well, maybe that was the thing, that they're just kind of like, oh, they have it on or whatever.
The cameras are running
on each person, and even if you don't want, that might have been like oh wow, the moment.
Creeping on
you. Upset alert! NFL upset alert!
Oh. You can tell the math
by one with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Well, didn't they lose one of their best players before their season even started? I don't know. I'm not a foosball.
He just hurt his knee. He'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I know what my knowledge of Chiefs football is that Mahomes talked Kansas City and Whataburger to work out a deal so that we have a Whataburger in Kansas City. That's my knowledge. That's it.
That's all you know?
Well, what about all the drama with his wife and brother? I mean, you're not into all that? There's all sorts of. She shot champagne all over fans at the stadium, and it caused all controversy.
Yeah, here's the thing. You know what? I live in a world of blinders. I went into the eye doctor today with my kids, and the entire staff was wearing Chiefs things, and. On the evening news, the entire the news anchor, everybody all wearing Chiefs things, and I'm just like, huh? Was there a phone call that was made? Did I get left out of it?
It just makes me really proud when we go places and people make comments to my kids about it. My kids are like, what? And I'm like, oh, I'm raising you right.
You don't actually have a football. You don't have a football team unless you talk about college.
For anybody out there who's been to Nebraska or spent any time in Nebraska, I will say for the 22 years I lived in Florida, they are not football fans there like they are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who do they follow for the pro game?
Huskers. It is Huskers.
Okay, Christy, I gotta disabuse you of something. The Huskers are not a professional franchise. They are a college
It doesn't matter. I'm just telling you.
So who do they follow on Sunday?
You take Florida State and Florida, and you take Miami and Tampa and Jacksonville, and you put all the fans in Florida together. You don't have the same population, but imagine the entire state being one team. Nobody falters. Nobody wavers.
No one budgets. This is a solid alliance of three.
So as a Florida man, I'm picturing a gymnasium with 180 people in it. That's the population of Nebraska in my mind.
Oh no, we have
much more populated than that.
Stadiums that there are. And
I know you do. I know you have a great college. You have a great college program, but who,
I don't know if it's a great
who
program.
in the NFL do they follow?
Who's their NFL? Yeah, who's the NFL?
Oh, then it's a toss-up. It could be the Vikings.
Well, it's got to be one of three things, right?
It
could be Kansas City.
There's a lot of Kansas City. There's a lot of Bears. There's a
Bears.
Oh yeah, a lot of Bears. I have Bear fans right in my office.
Excellent. Tell them I said hi.
How excellent.
And then we have Broncos fans, but and Vikings fans, but you'll see an occasional Dallas fan, and I go, "Oh, you're old." Okay.
So are you telling me you don't have? There's not a freaking Green Bay fan in the entire state?
Yes, tons and tons.
Oh no, don't tell me
sorry,
that I hate
tons of Green Bay as well. Tons of Green Bay as well. That one might, in my general circles, and I don't know, maybe it's a certain era of people, but a lot of Green Bay. Yeah, you're right. So that's why I said it's all around.
Fans, you find them everywhere. We literally have a house a few blocks over who has painted their house yellow, white, and green, and has the Packers logo on their front door.
Let's face it. If you grew up in Wisconsin, you're a little mental. Can I say mental? It's not like the R word.
You know what?
Everyone,
I know it tracks. It's fine. I'm no judgment here.
I think if it's a British like slang, you're fine.
So I can say cunt.
We could say sure. Let's desensitize that word.
Is
now.
definitely your T-shirt that you're getting for Christmas from me. In fact, I think that if we have the Raleigh reunion, we all need matching shirts. I'm calling it now.
That would be funny.
Can it be just David's face with a quote bubble with the word in it?
It would have to be on like a pastel.
And it would be like, can we say?
I'm just saying they say that in Australia, like they're saying.
You got it. It's like a comma, It's
No,
a
they
comma.
say written too. Yeah, it's very popular. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I was talking to a guy and he's from England and he must have thrown that out 30 or 40 times.
Yeah.
We're just sitting at the bar. I'm like, dude, you can't say that here.
Bollocks is a good
It's
one.
not the same as here. You can't say that, gosh.
Because some Americans won't even know what bollocks is. So that's a good
No, that's fine.
Never
I can say
mind.
that all day
great
long.
one.
Never mind them. That's what I say.
Never mind them ever.
Here's the Sex Pistols.
Wow, we really
Okay,
giant tangents.
We have
guys,
digressed.
next week we have a change in schedule because the episode is going to air an hour earlier. It looked like 7:00 Central.
David's like, I go to bed earlier.
So we have that. I am assuming that means that we will podcast an hour earlier. So we will be right after the episode. Is that still the fundamental?
That works.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll be here after the episode next week. And I think we're going to have a lot to talk about because we've got Sari and Felicia's have-nots in the same week. And I'm just saying.
You think they're going to get super grouchy with each other?
They can only eat like slop and have cold showers. That is not going to make a happy house. And Ed Camp is their HOH. Come on. Like, this is great.
Right. So none of them. So nobody's going to want to hang up
And
there.
you know what Cameron's
hang out
going
with
to
him
do?
up there in the
Cameron
lunch
is
break.
Cameron is going to be all creepy and he's going to be like, all right, America, you can use my shower.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he'll slow motion eat like his like alligator jerky. I don't know. I just assume he eats
He's thirsty.
He's so thirsty.
Oh,
And then he'd be like, listen.
Bingo.
He'll go, listen, hot stuff. You shouldn't wear such revealing clothing, even though you are really beautiful. But I'm only telling you this because I look at you like a daughter, hot lady. This is how Cameron is. This is the level we're gonna be.
And he has his own kid, right?
Yes, a daughter, actually. Yeah.
Does he refer to his hair in the third person?
He doesn't
like
refer
Bertha
to
would
his hair
correct
at
you.
all, and I prefer that if he went back
Bertha's
to
getting angry.
Bertha was at a top knot this week and I about vomited.
Well, if you had noticed, they apparently had like salon day because everybody had like sweet new braids in and he had the top knot. So
Yeah. Well, if I was in the house,
I said it last week, but I like Sari in the braids. I think she looks.
I love her.
I like her braids a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel
Oh.
like if I was in the house and you're bored and there's all the things that I love as a hobby are not allowed in there, right? So I would just be like, yeah, let's just do each other's hair and makeup and just.
I know. And I'd be
play
like,
with.
do whatever you want with my hair because if somebody is brushing or
You know
combing
what?
or braiding my hair, I'm in heaven. Let's do this.
Maybe we were so bored, we just start plucking each other's leg hairs with tweezers. Like, what? You like
Who can handle it the longest? This is the real pressure cooker.
Is chess the only board game they get?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they get,
Because did you see, apparently Jared was teaching Blue how to play chess.
Oh gosh. I didn't witness
and
that.
He starts with, these are pawns. They don't really do anything except block for the real players. And it oddly applied to Big Brother too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's exactly it.
Well, he's smart enough. Maybe he meant it. Maybe he meant the double meaning, and he thought that was.
Nah, I thought that's smart.
No.
Yeah. God, I just wish. I wish. I like him so much. Boo, buddy. Boo.
Yeah.
What can you do?
He didn't get any braids.
Nope. That's just it. So we don't know what we're going to be dealing with when we come back next week, but I bet we're going to be
but we know we're doing it earlier.
1 hour earlier, yeah.
Some hangry people, some cold people. I bet you that there's going to be the first. I bet you that we have our first real actual argument in this house this week.
We might, because there's been too many lies that are almost outed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Jared screwed up when he told Jag that thing, and that is just simmering. Like, why? What is really going on? Like, how did you know? But I knew. It's like, Jared, don't go and tell people.
And Jared's like irritating. Yeah. Jared's irritating Corey with all of the things that he's saying. Of course, obviously, because he's like dogging on America, but also because he's like, Corey says things like, yeah, like he's got this or he's got that, but like he really has no idea how to handle like regular things. Like he's incapable of like managing like just regular things. So Corey's getting a little bit irritated. It made
me upset though, because it was Matt's power. Matt he can use that for himself to tell the guy, hey, dude, I saved you.
Yep.
Right?
Well, okay,
but Jared around the way hears it, and he has to run over and try to take some credit for it.
And Jared does the same thing. So the argument we saw earlier, like in this week's episode, the one before tonight, where they had a little bit of an argument, like they didn't actually go into all of that. And some of it was because of what he was saying about America, but it was really funny because Jared was making all these arguments. Corey was making counter arguments. Jared wasn't listening to it. The argument went on for like, I don't know, a couple days. And then pretty soon Jared was repeating that argument of Corey's like it was his own idea to other people. Like it was his way of thinking.
This is why people's memories suck, right? You start to reprogram your own memory because you tell these stories so long.
Yeah.
And
it's all
Jared is just not good at it.
All going to come into a crumble pile at some point, and someone's going to lose their cool this week. I'm calling it.
Regardless of what happens this week, I can guarantee you that next Thursday night we will be ecstatic to have a new HOH, and it won't be canceled.
Yes, we will.
I
also would love to add that David would probably have gotten past the problems he's having with his electronics. So there's that.
David, you know what? One thing you can do for us this week. Maybe start rooting for Cam. Maybe that'll make.
Maybe it'll change your life. Maybe it'll change.
I would like to point out that
he could be your Robin.
Was one of my top 3 people to hate.
I know.
After week 1.
I know.
Oh yeah,
and
we
Luke
remember.
Was another, and who was the other? Tyson. So I was perfect.
Yeah.
With my hate was.
Oh no,
perfect.
you were like radar in it.
I was spot on the hate.
Maybe not.
I don't know. I kind of love Heisman.
No, I took Blue out. Remember?
Huh?
I kind of loved him.
Blue out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not taking Blue out. And Blue, she just gets higher and higher on that list for me.
Yeah, but Blue is on the show because she just wants to.
I don't care. Get the hell out of there. I want somebody in that. I want somebody in that show that has a sense of knowing.
This is why they shouldn't recruit. They shouldn't recruit house guests. They should only,
And they haven't really for a little while, so I don't know.
Yeah, but
Taylor was a recruit. Taylor was a recruit, and she won the game. But she also went and watched all the game and loved it and learned how to play it.
Taylor was an exceptional intellect.
Yes.
Nobody is going to convince me that Blue is an exceptional intellect.
Nope,
No,
not at
Taylor had the ability to soak that all in.
Taylor was absolutely brilliant, and she handled herself wonderfully.
She did.
Yeah, she did. We
She
still
was-
all love her. That's so great. It's a year later and we still love her. She still stands strong.
But only been
She's
a
great.
year?
Unlike one of those other house guests that she was in the house with, who is dogging on America now because he was talking about how it's Team America, and then her and Corey are like, no, that guy's a creep, and now he's like,
He's
that
like,
guy.
but I'm not gonna flip flop. I don't flip flop. That'd be Daniel Elvis.
Daniel Elvis.
That was didn't we
That's
didn't
him.
we
That's
hate
the guy.
him and then we
God,
liked
he's
him and then
so
we
good.
hated him again?
We
David
wanted to
Dunn
love him
knows.
before the show started. We wanted to love him. We were like, Elvis impersonator? That's kind of like eccentric and cool. Okay. And then it was so disappointing immediately.
Oh, and we have lost Jamie's sound. Look at that. She's just talking to nobody.
Oh my
Hi,
God, for a
Jamie.
second I thought it was me.
There we go.
Oh,
I'm back. Sorry. I lost your sound and then I got my sound and now we're all good.
Ooh-ha. Okay. Well,
All right, let's make like a package and wrap it up.
yes. All right. You know what I think I might try and do
What
next
kind
week?
of package are we wrapping?
I would like to, I don't know if we can do that.
There's so many answers to that question.
If we after the veto ceremony, and we know who's the final selection, maybe we should take a poll in the group that we have at Facebook, which is tally the votes on Facebook, and then just kind of see, and maybe we can kind of see if everyone's on it, but everyone's going to be watching. No, we need you to vote right after the veto. No, because there's the delay. See.
We'll just put it up there and then you vote whenever you want.
Or Evo, whatever.
But you know what we do not want you to do is email us.
No, don't email us. We don't
Oh,
care. But
no.
if you insist on emailing us,
I mean,
here's
then we
the
have to
email.
read.
But we don't want you to, so
But
don't.
if you do, I'm not even going to read it. Matter of fact, I'm going to call my mom instead.
Oh, she'll be so happy to hear from you.
No, she won't email me either.
David, come on.
I've
It's
been doing this
because-
podcast for like 4 years. My mother won't email me.
It's because you called her the C word.
No, wait. No. Hey,
No, I would not do
Wow.
that. Even if I was from England, I would not.
even
do
if you were
that.
in
I'm sure it's an
England
insult in England.
with your
Because
mom.
I think in Australia, if somebody calls you that, I think it's like a sign of respect. It's like saying you're a tough dude.
it's like high-fiving each
Like,
other.
Yeah.
like
so-
you're a clever,
Right.
like you're a clever
Yeah.
one, right? Yeah. Mhm.
Well, Roy Kent calls people that, so,
Right, and people he likes.
and he's awesome. So, you know,
Roy F. and Kent. That's
Well, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere.
everywhere.
Roy Kent.
I wish he was here.
I know, right? I missed that show already. It's really sad. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Anything else?
That's it.
No?
That's it.
We got it?
That's it.
All right,
There's
guys.
nothing.
Then let's
I gotta
get
go fix my
started.
electronics for the next 9 hours.
Well, good luck to you. Godspeed. All right. See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.